And celebrations are in order. Congratulations, all the good stuff. We are sitting here with a friend of the program and three-time Pro Bowler, A.J. Cole. Round of applause to Mr. Cole. Congratulations, sir.
Shake my hand.
Yes, there it is.
We did it.
We did it. We sure did. Let's start here. How'd you find out this time?
So this time I found out me and Max went up to Champ's office after practice. He told us he wanted to speak with us, and Champ and AP were up there and just let us know that we made the Pro Bowl.
Any nerves when they say, hey, the GM wants to talk to you?
Yeah, it's like getting called up to the principal's office. You're like, if you get called to the principal's office, it's either like, oh, you're in trouble, you're getting detention, or it's like, oh, you're getting recognized for something good. So it's really good or really bad. When it's the same day as the Pro Bowl announcement, you're like, I feel like this one's going to go good. But if you go up there and it's like, oh, you're getting accused of cheating on someone's homework, it's like, oh, no. I thought this was going to be one of those good meetings.
Yes, it certainly was a good meeting. And can
This
I
was
be
good relief.
and can I yes, can I'm also relieved because we can be transparent with the people here. I have I don't want to call it a nasty habit, but I have unfortunately at times in our friendship broken news to you that I previously thought you knew. One of the good ones that comes to mind is the All-Pro nod a few years ago. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And I thought you knew. I was really nervous that I was going to break this one to you because you and I ran into each other this morning.
You did.
And I feel like I got close. I didn't spill the beans, but I'm very glad that Champ and AP had the chance to tell you, and it didn't come from Eddie Paskal.
Yeah, it was kind of like one of those situations where somebody's like, you just think you're going to dinner, and somebody's like, it's your birthday, right? You think you're going to dinner, and somebody's like, hey, what are you doing tonight? You're like, I'm just going to dinner. They're like, oh, yeah? Yeah? Like, and then later when you find out you had a surprise party, you're like, oh, like you knew the whole time. And looking back on our conversation, I realized I could have seen the breadcrumbs, but I really thought you were congratulating me on my third appearance on Upon Further Review.
In the past 6 weeks.
I know. And congratulations should be in order for that primarily.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
I mean, there's a lot of people that go to the Pro Bowl. Has anybody been on here 3 times in the last 6 weeks?
Not in the past 6 weeks. I think,
So if we're talking about ranking honors, that seems like it should be number one.
Listen, I didn't say it. You did, and I won't dispute you. I won't fight that. You are the man of the hour, and I'm not here to rain on your parade. When we look at 2023, though, right, and you know, we'll have time to do the deep dive into everything at some point, but like, what did you get better at this year? I mean, we look at the numbers, we look at the stats, like they're all foolish and incredible and just puts you in a different stratosphere. Like, but what are you proud of in 2023?
Yeah, you know, I think that I think the biggest thing I've improved upon is my directional punting. That's something that really wasn't a strength when I first got into the league. That wasn't something that I feel like I did at a super high level, and it's something I've improved upon every year, and it's something that Coach McMahon really emphasizes and puts a lot of strain on. And so I think second year in the system really helped me. And I think it's just made me a better player. And so we've done a lot of stuff with kind of trying to get the returner moving a lot left to right and doing a lot of cross-field stuff. So guys tend to punt from the right hash to the right side, left hash to the left side. And this year we've done quite a bit of showing like we're going to go to the left and then flipping and going to the right. So we try to keep the returners on their toes, and I really I want to be a difficult punter to game plan against, and I want them to have no idea what's coming, no expectations, and so that whatever happens, they're surprised, and that disrupts their timing and makes it hard for them to get a jump on us.
Yeah, and I think honestly, like, you know, as a man who's committed to special teams, we've had this talk many times. I've told you, I've told Daniel, I've told everyone who is willing to listen. Like, I think what's been really cool this year is to kind of hear you get your flowers from the broadcast a lot more, right? I think those of us in the building who know you are always rooting for you, and you know, I'm the king. I'd like to think of pulling these random obscure stats to show just your excellence and dominance. But like, it's been really fun to hear the Tony Romos, the Jim Nances, the Fox crews talk about like, hey, like this guy is doing something pretty incredible. And to me, like that, as a fan of AJ Cole, as a fan of punting, that's been a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. It's definitely an honor. I don't really watch the broadcast copy too much, so I don't know what they're saying. But if you tell me they're saying good things, I'll believe you.
They're saying it. Let's go here, right? I think our PR staff, Will Kiss, and our friends do a fantastic job of kind of putting together the best things of your year, right? Of your ability, of everything that has gone on over the past 17 weeks. There's some pretty awesome stats here, man. Like, we could sit here for a long time and dive through them. Is there any stat from this year that kind of stands out to you? I know, like, the 83-yarder, that's probably, I'm sure, up there. But, like, is there any, like, one metric you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool?
Yeah, I mean, I think that ultimately as a punt team, not just myself, but as a punt team, you ultimately get judged by the net. And there's a lot of different factors that go into that. And so if I'm evaluating my performance and our performance as a unit, the net's going to be the first thing amongst other factors that I'm going to look to. The higher you can get the net, the better. And I think that's probably the stat or the best indicator of how well I'm punting the football. But I would be lying if I wasn't telling you the Giants game wasn't pretty cool. Doing that was something that I never even had considered. But in hindsight, that's pretty cool that we did that. So, I would say the net primarily.
Yeah, 100%. And I know, you talked about it, just kind of the whole effort, the whole battery that goes into a successful punt. Obviously, you and Daniel, who I know is involved in the punt team, but like you and Daniel and the entire crew. What?
Daniel's not involved in the punt team, but Daniel is involved in the punt team. Daniel is my little caddy out there. Daniel comes out with me to the field with a water bottle. Sometimes in the summer when it's hot, he's got a towel, and he's sort of he's my caddy. He sits back there. He watches me punt. Sometimes when I'm pissed about something, I'll just yell at it to him, and he just goes, yeah. Or I'm like, what'd you see there? Sometimes getting like a quick tip. So Daniel's not on the punt team, but Daniel being my little caddy, my little bag holder during punt team, he deserves some credit for sure, and he'd be disgusted if he didn't get his flowers for
yes,
this.
100%.
We're going to include him in that. We're also each other's mental coach, so anything I do is a reflection of him, and anything he does is a reflection of me.
100%. 100%. A great partnership. But let's
continue.
Let's zoom out to the entire punt unit,
yeah.
right? And I know that one of the things that at times is frustrating for me is that AJ Cole is not like, look at me, look at all these great things I'm doing. Oh, it's a team thing, which it is. But in this moment of kind of recognition for you, certainly a very awesome moment, what do you have to say to the guys in front of you that help kind of make this thing go?
I mean, I'll say until the day that I die that me going to the Pro Bowl is a unit award. It's a team award. And I get to be the one that's the face of it, that gets the stats attached to their name. But I can't do anything without them. If they don't protect for me, I don't have time to get a good punt off. If they don't cover, our numbers are trash. And so the guys that were in front of me that I played with, and this is what I've told the gunner sometimes too, is like the plays that you make aren't just the plays that you make. The plays that you make give me confidence in your ability to make those plays, and they help me punt at a higher level. So because Amir and because DJ are flying down there making plays, I'm more confident in them just to let it rip and let them go make me look good, so then my punting game improves. So they're not just making plays, but they're also improving my performance by the confidence that I have in them.
100%. And you and the boys are going to be representing down in Orlando in, I don't know, about like 5 weeks' time, something like that. But you are not going to be the only Raider there. Our friend Max Crosby, a fellow friend of the program. Interesting that two friends of the program are getting Pro Bowl nods this year. I won't say anything more than that. Just an interesting observation.
I don't believe in coincidences. No, I don't know about you.
I'm not here to dispute you. It's your big day.
There we go.
But how excited are you that Max is going to be going along for this adventure with you?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, Max is just... he's unbelievable. Like watching him play from the sidelines and seeing his work day in, day out. I mean, it's just incredible to watch how he's grown from being a kind of a baby-faced rookie to the guy that he is now. It's such an awesome journey to have been able to have a front row seat to. I mean, the way he plays on Sunday, there might be guys that work as hard as Max, but you can't find somebody that works harder, and you can't find somebody that gives more. And so anytime he gets honored with an award, it is really special just because I've seen the behind the scenes and I know what it took, and I know most people aren't willing to give what it took.
Yeah, and it's like we talk about it all the time, and I tell Max every time that we have a chance to sit down, I was like, the best thing about Max, and the same goes for you, is like the skinny, non-tattooed guy who rolled up at 1220 in Oakland.
Yep.
He's the same dude.
Yeah.
Right? He's 100% the same guy. A little bit bigger, a little more body art these days, but he's the same dude, and the same goes for you, right?
Yeah, just drives a nicer car.
Yeah, just a little louder car.
Yeah.
A little louder in both volume and in color. But yes, a different car, same guy. But, we've talked so much about the Pro Bowl for good reason. It's an awesome day. I think it's a day to celebrate you and Max, and to your point, celebrate everyone who helped you guys get to where you are. But we still got one game left, right? This thing ain't over quite yet. One more time, we're going to go against the Broncos this weekend at Allegiant. I mean, what are you kind of hoping to get out of this last go-around with the fellas?
Yeah, I mean, when you end up in this situation, it is a little bit weird because you're, all season, you're playing for the playoffs, you're playing for for the playoffs, you're playing for the playoffs. And then once you're eliminated, it's like, all right, well, what are we playing for now? And you got to look to the left and you got to look to the right. And you got to know that this group of men, it'll never be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know what it's going to look like coaching staff-wise. You don't know what it's going to look like player-wise. But this iteration of the Las Vegas Raiders will never exist again. So you're playing for the love of you're playing for the love of the game, and you're playing for the love of your teammates. And we just want to go out there and we want to put an exclamation point on who we feel like we are. And we still have that pride, and we still want to show that, this is who we are, this is what our final legacy is, and no matter what stage of the NFL you're in, whether it's the first game of the year, whether it's a Super Bowl, whether it's the last game with no real playoff stakes, you are what you put on film, and you got to sign that and you got to turn it in, and that goes on your resume. So we're just going to go put on tape who we are.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what's great for us is it's the last game of the year is a home game, right? And I think it
Yeah.
provides an awesome opportunity for us to kind of show gratitude, say thank you to the fans, say thank you to the people that make all of this possible, that make it possible for me to talk nonsense and hang out with you guys all the time. So, I one thing that going back to Max, that I think Max has a great appreciation for, and you kind of fall in that same boat too, is that understanding of like it is kind of that mutual relationship between player and fans, and there's none of this without them. So like, we got one left to go. Like, what is your kind of message for getting that place packed on Sunday?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, this is the last iteration, and you don't know who's going to be in those jersey numbers next year. And this group of guys that we got the opportunity to play with this year, anytime you get to the end of the year, there's some sadness, there's some emotions, there's some feeling of like loss, right? But this is just such an incredible group of men, and what we've gone through this year with the highs and the lows and the adversity. I think this is a group of people that should have made Raider Nation proud this year, and I know we would appreciate any kind of support we can get. And when we're down, y'all lift us up, and when y'all are down, we try and lift you up. And so that's how we feel. And yeah, we're extremely thankful for the fan base because, like you said, this whole operation, this podcast studio, the locker room, none of this would exist if we didn't have fans, if nobody wanted to come watch us play. So we are extremely appreciative and thankful of their support and for them caring enough to tune in every Sunday. And so this is the last opportunity this team's going to have to play together. You don't know who's going to be here next year, so enjoy it while you can.
100%. And not only a great punter, a great ambassador for everything that this place stands for. Congratulations once again to you and Max. Can't leave the Condor out of this. It was so good to see you, and I know I tell you every time that we hang out. Selfishly, it's just so much fun to see you kind of get your moment in the sun. And thankfully, these moments are happening a lot now, which is awesome. But I will never forget that you were a guy who you said, hey, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Like, let's have some fun for the next 2-3 months while I go through the offseason program. And then you look up, and what is this, year 5 for you? What is it?
Yeah, just finishing up year 5 right now.
It's crazy.
Trying to keep that same mentality, man. You never know when your last day here is going to be. So you got to enjoy the sunshine, smell the roses, and have the best day you can.
Absolutely. Well said. Congratulations, AJ Cole, and we'll see you next week. All right, brother?
Thank you, Eddie.